Hey, what's up, guys? It's Las Vegas Jay. I'm here with another vlog. It's a little different this time, but I'm here to talk about something pretty serious: taxes when you're a courier or an Uber driver, Lyft, what have you, anywhere in the US. I'm going to talk about a few things as far as when you claim, why do you claim, and how. So, the first thing you want to figure out is if you made $600 or less in 2016 with any of your jobs. So they are exactly separate. So if you made 600 with Postmates, 600 with Grubhub, 600 with DoorDash, they're all separate. So if you make over that $600 mark, you have to file for that specific platform. If not, you do not have to file taxes on that platform if it's under $600. The next topic, I will definitely talk about expenses. This is a gigantic subject. So I speak on this. I'll kind of run over a few things. But the first thing you want to do with your expenses is track it. Track everything you do, every mile you drive, every dollar you spend on parking, every dollar you spend on repairs in your car so you can continue running your business. You have to track everything. This is very, very important. Whether you use apps like Stride Drive, there are a couple of others out there as well, but make sure they are tracked. And one thing I do want to add is when you do track your mileage or your parking, if you can pay with your parking with a debit or credit card, do it. I will explain a little bit later in the video, but it's very important that you do that as well, because if you lose track of your paper receipts or if the ink fades off and you get audited by the IRS, you have no proof of that $4 or $5 you paid to park, or the $8 or $16 you paid to park just to deliver some food. You lose that money. So it's very important you keep track of it digitally and by paper if you can. Also, if you have someone else doing your taxes, you may want to just make sure they're experienced with couriers like Postmates, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Lyft. You have to make sure they're familiar with that. If they're not going to know what to write off for you. They won't ask you the right questions if you are unprepared. But if you are prepared and you bring everything with you, you're good to go. I also want to look at TurboTax. TurboTax really looks out for the couriers, the Uber drivers, Lyft drivers. They really look out for us because they have an auto import option when you do your taxes. At least for when I just did it, they gave me the option to auto import my online bank profile for all my expenses I may have incurred from doing Postmates, Grubhub, any other driving app like that. And it automatically imports your expenses like your parking, any repairs. Because if you have it digitally there and you end up getting audited somehow, you have proof that you spent this amount at this place and for what reason, because you can also track your shift if you ever get audited, because the proof is definitely in the pudding when it comes to being audited by the IRS. I've never been audited, thank God, but the horror stories I've heard is just that it's a complete nightmare and it's so expensive. And another thing I do want to add is do not, I repeat, do not embellish your expenses. This will red flag the IRS and you will get audited if you embellish too much. It's best not to do it at all, but if you are doing a little bit of embellishment, have proof or at least write it down to where you can track it yourself. You do not want to get audited. Also know that you may operate at a loss. How crazy is that, right? You work so hard to earn this money and you file your taxes the next year and your tax preparer tells you operate at a loss. It's crazy. That's why you have to track everything so you can write everything off. Also, you have to save at least 30% of your complete earnings from the year so you can pay taxes on that because you're going to owe the government that money for it. Definitely. So definitely save at least 30%. And I would say also do an extra 10% just in case they take out more than usual. And you can spend the rest of that, spend the 60% or more. So that's my little run over of the taxes with any of the couriers or any of the driving jobs. Please note, I repeat, I am not a licensed CPA or anything like that. I know a lot about finances, but I am not a CPA. I'm not a tax advisor at all. I'm just giving you a few tips on any people that started driving last year or people that are starting this year driving. That's it. I'm Las Vegas Jay. Peace.